We have a guest joining us this morning. We've been rather busy lately with various people coming by who are running in the May 17th primaries. Mainly, we've got races just simply among Republicans. I guess there are a handful of Democrats who are running. We're not necessarily going to see any of them until probably sometime late summer because there aren't a lot of primaries on that side of the electoral equation. But first of all, we want to welcome Leon Mills to our studio.
Thank you.
I've been looking forward to meeting you. Of course, your daughter has been here, one of your daughters. We were just talking about how successful your three daughters are,
Yes, they
and
are.
we've had one of your daughters here many times on the air with us, talking about various political issues, and of course we were just talking about the fact that she needs to get back into elective office sometime soon. So
I think she's looking forward to that.
yeah, and of course you're looking to get back into it as well. We should point out,
That's correct.
and a big primary coming up on May 17th. And right off the top, when George Uri was here a couple of weeks ago, and we had a conversation about uh, public perception, I guess, of people in politics. And that's why you end up with a challenger as someone says, well, I think I can do this better, or this isn't going. But he brought up, he said, you have a lot of people out there who are willing to criticize people who are in office. I think what he was trying to say was that the meetings are open. You don't see a lot of people come out, and in a lot of cases, people really don't have any good idea of how government actually works, especially for those of you who are in the elected side of it.
Yeah, our days are spent really in meetings after meetings. I sit on 7 boards, and a lot of them meet during the day and some in the evening. But also, I have about 7, 8 department heads. Housekeeping, maintenance, treatment and recovery clinic, and we have 375 employees, and so it takes a lot of time and energy. But as I say, my door is always open. I mean, people can call me, email me. I meet with them after hours, So we are available, but it there's a lot more to it than most people even can fathom, and but it's a great job. It's very satisfying. It's it's a privilege to serve this community, and I consider myself uh, I do a good job, but then I probably should because I am getting paid. It's not like a volunteer position, but it's like managing a company, so to speak. You have a budget, you have all the things that come with that, the personnel, uh, and those are things that you really need to do and do them effectively.
The fact that it's three people, I mean, doing it, obviously it divides up a little bit of the responsibility, but it's also, and you look at some counties with huge legislatures and the like in other parts of the country. A lot of this, so if something doesn't go to somebody's liking, perhaps a lot of that weight falls on just very few shoulders around here. Do you think that obviously some of the criticism you get, you probably feel is warranted at times, but do you feel that a lot of it that you get in government is unwarranted?
Well, yeah, because there's really 9 of us that are elected, and we give a lot of uh, leeway actually for the treasurer, the assessor. They're their own elected officials. They're not our employees, and so we allow them their choices and the things they do. And a lot of those things are tax questions, assessor questions. Even sheriff questions, and so we try to like filter them to the right place, but yet not let them feel like we're sliding them or blowing them off. And so those are those are some of the things that we deal with that really has nothing to do with county commissioners. But
You're doing a lot of campaigning, and of course, one thing about your family is you're very good at the signage. Boy, you can pick that up around town fast. Drive down the street, and I see your name everywhere. Uh,
thank you.
when you're going out, you're doing this door to door, and you've been doing, I mean, door to door campaigning for a long, long time, as I understand. What is the pitch you give to people when you meet voters when they ask, why should I send you back for another term? What's that sort of speech you give them as you're standing there at the front stoop?
Well, I don't really have a speech. I just tell them to look at my record and look how conservative I am. I am concerned about the the elderly and their taxes. Their greatest investment is their home, and the last thing that I want to be involved in is to put it in jeopardy. But I just tell them, hey, I'm really just putting out voter information. Yes, it's mine, and I do want you to vote for me, but I want you to be informed and make that choice. I don't. I tell people the only person I really want to vote for me is my wife. You know what I mean? If there's only one vote for me and I know it's me, we're probably going to have words at the end. But that's not a problem. I'm just kidding. But as far as I really don't have a campaign speech, so to speak. I'm here to help move our county forward in the very best way. My father always taught me that to leave it better than you found it. And I was born here. My wife was born here. My children are born here. I have 3 grandsons. And I want us to be a productive, very good place, quality of life, place to live.
You have an opponent this year who's very well known too as well, and this is sometimes you have a primary challenger and they may not be that well known. Uh, were you at all surprised that he decided to challenge this year?
Well, he's actually probably been doing about 2 years. So I know it's coming, and he does have a very known name. But again, I look at it not necessarily the challenger. When I first ran for this position and won, there was 7 of us. There was 3 other Republicans, myself making 4. There was 2 Democrats and 1 independent. But I think if people just look, it's like to me, it's like presenting a resume and I say, I have 5 years of quality experience. You've seen the decisions I've made, and again, like I said, I care about the future of this community. And I'm very fiscal responsible.
When Mr. Uri was here, we talked a little bit about that one transportation issue that came up where his Democrat opponent in the general election, if he gets through the primary, will bring this up at about the bypass and all, and people are trying to make it sound as if somehow something happened here that was secretive, and he said no, it was all very public. Where do you think those charges come from? I mean, how they get out there, and the problem is it's like trying to tamp down a rumor. Sometimes it's not easy to do.
That's true. The bypass was probably looked at 20, 25 years ago, and really it's a financial problem, so to speak. It would cost 20 million, 30 million to probably build the bridge behind the sugar factory. And now they're building a school and they want a 65-mile-an-hour zone. I think they need to look at other things, but to the future, they're probably not going to build it for 20 years. So I don't know how effective as a county commissioner or as this board, which has no authority whatsoever anyway, they're just advisory, how effective their decisions are going to make 20 years from now. They'd have to secure the land, get some kind of easements or buy it. And I don't think anybody's willing to invest that far into the future.
It's 9:14, and Leon Mills, of course, is a Twin Falls County Commissioner joining us in studio this morning on News Radio 1310 KLIX and News Radio 1310.com. Bill Colley with you as well on Top Story, and it's 61 on our way to 79 today. Um, in doing a work like this, it's obviously rewarding, and as you pointed out, you've been here your whole life. People talk about growth. I had a caller a few weeks ago said, I'm sick of it. He said, I don't need any more of it. But on the other hand, the flip side of that is we get better roads, better hospitals, and the like. Where do you see us going? Do we need a little bit more, I guess, oversight when it comes to growth?
Well, I think the growth in being managed fine by the city, uh, but I worry down the road if we have water problems, like I saw in today's paper, they're talking about curtailing the city. I mean, that's the top thing. I'm
Mhm.
sure they'll work through that, but we have to think that um, in the future, what is our water? I mean, are we going to allocate it out? And the other problem I see, and it's a fixable problem, CSI is doing a great job, is jobs themselves. We have about 800 people who are unemployed in our community, and they probably don't want a job. So we're borrowing. I worked for 21 years for ConAgra Foods, and as a matter of fact, last night I met with one of the old supervisors, and he was telling me that Cliff Bar has taken about 20 of their experienced people. And I of course told him, well, maybe you need to pay a little bit more or whatever it is and he told me really it was a grade shift to day shift thing. People want to be on day shift. And so as that progresses, we seem to be taken from the Glambias and the Lamb Westons and those and just shifting. And we really need to find those workers and make them productive in our community.
If you want to grab a headset, I believe we have a telephone call, and you can respond to maybe any comment or question the caller has. And caller, you're on the air with Commissioner Leon Mills.
Good morning, guys. Hope you guys are doing well today.
Sure.
Yes,
Just wanted to touch on 3 topics. You guys already touched a little bit on the water issue, which is going to be a serious problem. I'm glad that there's guys around here selling the ground for so much money, but we have so many out-of-staters coming in and buying farm ground. Idaho farmers cannot afford to buy ground around here anymore. It's getting bad. You can't get any new guys into farming because you cannot afford to pay the land prices, because we have people coming from out of state buying things at exorbitant high prices and driving everybody out. And I don't know. I don't know what you do to deal with it between the water and the ground. There isn't going to be a lot of a farming future around here, except for big corporations.
Any response?
Well, I agree, I mean, but money kind of drives the train, so to speak. But agriculture has always been the background of this community, and my prayer and my hope is that we continue that. And water is one of the biggest issues, and they're working through that through the water courts. But what can you do when someone sells a home in California for 750,000, and then they can come here and buy four homes? Uh, Really, it's just economics, and it's just things that probably a lot of communities face.
Of course, it's been driving up I want to thank the caller. It's been driving up, as I read last week, the cost of homes in this area too. It's been a great seller's market. But if you're a seller, then, this is a good thing. I mean, this is capitalism, I guess, at its best for you.
Yes, it is, and it does help our economy, and it grows us. But again, we want probably structured growth. Allow it to move this direction. That's the good thing about a shared agreement we have with the area of impact. It allows the cities, every city around here has a certain area of impact, and they can structure the growth the way they want to. But I don't know how you would really prevent someone from paying $1 million for, a lock of Elvis Presley's hair, so to speak. It's
Right. It's what the buyer is willing to shell out.
Yes, exactly.
We've got about a minute left for people who'd like to know a little bit more about your campaign. Of course, you've got handbills that are you're passing out. But for people, is there a website or a Facebook page you'd recommend they go to?
Yes, I have a Twin Falls County Commissioner Leon Mills website, and I post a lot of things of what I'm doing. I am available out there. I make myself. You can call me anytime, and we can set up an appointment. And then I just would like to say that please just really examine my record. Like I say, it's a resume that I'm putting out there. I'm not really running against my opponent. I'm saying, hey, just look at me and keep me hired. And I just appreciate everybody that supports me. And I just encourage everyone to vote on, May 17th. That's a very important primary day.
Looking forward to it. And I want to thank you for coming by today, and I hope we get a chance to talk again sometime.
Anytime. Thank you.
I want to thank County Commissioner Leon Mills for dropping by this morning. It's coming up on 920 News Radio 1310, KLIX, and newsradio1310.com. Top story with Bill Colley.